Gruffalo said that no Gruffalo should ever set foot in the deep, dark wood. Why not? Why not? Because if you do, the big bad mouse will be after you. I met him once, said the Gruffalo. I met him a long, long time ago. What does he look like? Tell us, Dad. Is he terribly big and terribly bad? I can't quite remember, the Gruffalo said. Then he thought for a minute and scratched his head. The big bad mouse is terribly strong, and his scaly tail is terribly long. His eyes are like pools of terrible fire, and his terrible whiskers are tougher than wire. One snowy night, when the Gruffalo snored, the Gruffalo's child was feeling bored. The Gruffalo's child was feeling brave, so she tiptoed out of the Gruffalo cave. The snow fell fast and the wind blew wild. Into the wood went the Gruffalo's child. Aha! Oh-ho! A trail in the snow. Whose is this trail and where does it go? A tail poked out of a log pile house. Could this be the tail of the big bad mouse? Out slid the creature. His eyes were small and he didn't have whiskers, no, none at all. You're not the mouse. Not I, said the snake. He is down by the lake eating Gruffalo cake. The snow fell fast and the wind blew wild. I'm not scared, said the Gruffalo child. Aha! Oh-ho! Marks in the snow. Whose are these claw marks? Where do they go? Two eyes gleamed out of a treetop house. Could these be the eyes of the big bad mouse? Down flew the creature. His tail was short and he didn't have whiskers of any sort. You're not the mouse. Woohoo, not I, but he's somewhere nearby eating Gruffalo pie. The snow fell fast and the wind blew wild. I'm not scared, said the Gruffalo's child. Aha! Oh-ho! A track in the snow. Whose is this track and where does it go? Whiskers at last and an underground house. Could this be the home of the big bad mouse? Out slunk the creature. His eyes weren't fiery, his tail wasn't scaly, his whiskers weren't wiry. You're not the mouse. Oh no, not me. He's under a tree drinking Gruffalo tea. It's all a trick, said the Gruffalo's child as she sat on a stump where the snow lay piled. I don't believe in the big bad mouse. But here comes a little one out of his house. Not big, not bad, but a mouse at least. You'll taste good as a midnight feast. Wait, said the mouse, before you eat, there's a friend of mine that you ought to meet. If you'll let me hop onto a hazel twig, I'll beckon my friend so bad and big. The Gruffalo's child unclenched her fist. The big bad mouse, so he does exist. The mouse hopped into the hazel tree. He beckoned, then said, just wait and see. Out came the moon. It was bright and round. A terrible shadow fell onto the ground. Who is this creature? So big, bad and strong, his tail and his whiskers are terribly long. His ears are enormous and over his shoulder he carries a nut as big as a boulder. The big bad mouse, yelled the Gruffalo's child. The mouse jumped down from the twig and smiled. Aha! Oh-ho! footprints in the snow. Whose are these footprints? Where do they go? The footprints led to the Gruffalo cave, where the Gruffalo's child was a bit less brave. The Gruffalo's child was a bit less bored. And the Gruffalo snored and snored and snored. Can you make a snoring sound? The end. Okay, so now we've read the story about the Gruffalo, we're going to make our own Gruffalo face. So, you will need your paper plate, some ears, a mouth, some horns, some eyes, a poisonous water for the end of his nose, some tissue paper. If you've not got any tissue paper or anything to use like that, then you can use some paint. So if you just mix up whatever you have, probably you'll make brown. Some glue, and let's go for it. So I'm going to turn the paper plate over and start by sticking on the ears and the horns. Tape's probably the best thing for this bit to get them on nice and secure. Any kind of tape. If you don't have any paper plates, you can just use some card, just cut a circle, or whatever else you can find, be creative. Okay. Now for the fur. So I've just ripped all this up so it looks nice and rough and furry like the Gruffalo. Just using some PVA. You could use Pritt stick, but it might be a bit tricky with crepe paper or tissue paper. But it might be that you've got some paper or card or fabric to rip up and use instead. So let's get nice and messy and gluey. The ripping bit is quite fun as well. I enjoyed reading about the Gruffalo's child. I'd only ever read the Gruffalo before. A classic. Which one do you like best? There we go. So we've got a lovely, shaggy, friendly Gruffalo. And we can stick his eyes on. It's pretty gluey already, so I think they'll just stick like that. And then a nice toothy grin. If you want a slightly different way to do the teeth, it might be fun to do little triangles, because the Gruffalo has teeth all over the place, so you could just do a bit of a kind of stick them on every which way. That's another idea. He does have a poisonous wart at the end of his nose, so I am going to add that. Right there. Need a bit more glue under these eyes. I was overconfident there. Okay, and now we need a black pen, which I forgot. And we'll do some nice circles. Okay, and that's his face finished, I believe. So, this could be a lovely piece of wall art. You're welcome, parents and grandparents. Or you can make it into a mask. So, I've got a lolly stick here.
You could, if you don't have any of them, use a straw, or if you're a super eco-friendly household, you might have a wooden spoon lying around. So you're going to want to stick it really in on the middle bit, but I'll do that when he's dry. And then you can be the Gruffalo. I hope you had lots of fun with that, and I would love to see any photos. Please send photos, and of anything else that you've been up to over lockdown. It would be really nice to catch up. See you again soon.